Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the best painting channel there is. I'm just kidding. Look at all these paints. We've got a very special boy today to paint up. It's everybody's favorite Submariner? Sure, I don't know how you say it. It's Namor. Look at him. So freaking cute. I'm genuinely excited to paint him up today. All the detail on his base is amazing. Also, thank you again, AMG, for sending us some stuff early to get painted for you guys. So in my lap, I have tons of colors, most of them Citadel contrast colors. Got like a red for the crab, this pinkish color for the starfish, the purple color that I kind of thinned down for the shell. I thought I was going to use a white, but didn't end up using it for what I thought, but I mixed yellow and green a lot. And then there's also, I think, 2 blues that I mixed together for the water, and then also 2 of the greens for the seaweed as well. So lots of fun stuff going on. I'm super, super excited to paint up Namor. He looks so fun, so amazing. And let's zoom in one more time and look at him in all of his Wraithbone glory, and let's get started. So the first color we're going in with is probably like a 4:1, maybe even 5:1 ratio Agros Dunes and Bad Moon Yellow contrast paints. I've never quite found like a good brownish color for sand that I particularly like. I do like to have a little bit of that yellow in there, and Bad Moon Yellow is so incredibly pigmented, you really don't need much of it in there. So that's what we did. We mixed a little bit of that up, and we just kind of really, obviously there's parts where it looks like sand, but parts where I wasn't entirely sure that like the rock part that I could kind of get in there, I just shoved some sand color in there because so what? If there's sand in between rocks, it's sand. So it wouldn't throw off like the base or look out of place or anything. Next, we're going in and dry brushing some white on that sand just to kind of like lighten it up a little bit. And the last step in my favorite sand recipe is to just throw some of the brown Agrax Earthshade on top of all that and then call it a day. So next we're going in and just kind of like tidying up all of the rocks and the little pieces where I was a little bit messy before. I pretty much always get messy in the beginning because I know I can just go in and like clean up with white. Lets me kind of see like where things need to be as well, and like if I need to go back a step or whatnot. So we're just going in on the white and hitting these rocks a little bit, and then we move on. And now that our rocks are nice and clean, we're gonna go in and throw some of the basilicanum gray on top. Not gonna be as messy with this as I was with the sand, just because I don't really want gray on top of sand color. You want the rocks to kind of stand out as their own. So for the water, I ended up doing a mixed kind of homebrew color. I mixed even parts contrast Talisar blue with the contrast Aethermatic blue. I think I actually technically did 3 drops, or how I do, I just kind of dip my paintbrush in there. 3 drops of each, and then I think I did 2. I don't think I did quite 3 drops of the speed paint medium, just to kind of like thin it down a little bit. Water, I really kind of like to medium mine down. I think it just gives an overall better look, and then it causes better pools, in my opinion, that you're able to like go in and move around. So while the water was drying, I went in and picked out some of the details on the base with Clorox White, and then I give a good dry brush on top for kind of where the water is foaming a little bit. So I do your normal dry brush, and then towards the end of it, I kind of like poke at it and stipple it so that you get a couple more white dots. So a little bit of a better foam kind of presentation. So the next couple of like sped through clips are me hitting all the little details on the base. So we're going in with the rocks, we're hitting it with the Basilicanum Gray, same as we did before. And then we do probably a 4-to-1 mix of Contrast Warp Lightning and Dark Angels Green for like the seaweed that's on there. The little shell that's on the base, I did Shyish Purple, probably did maybe a drop of that to like 4 drops of Speed Paint Medium to thin that down. And then the things that I didn't actually record on the screen, even though I thought I did, was the starfish and the crab. So the starfish is just the Volupus pink, if I'm saying that right. And then probably like a 5-to-1 ratio of the Ball Red and Bad Moon Yellow. Just wanted to add, I feel like I add yellow to everything. Yellow to cut out some of the red so it wasn't such a harsh red. And there's also a couple of barnacles on the side. I originally was gonna do Contrast White, didn't end up going with that. I just did Agrax Earthshade over them to give them a little bit of color. And that's Namor's base done, all those cute tiny little details. That shell is my favorite. So now we're going in with Guilliman Flesh, getting some skin on this boy. And you see actually at the end, when I slow it down and show off the skin color that I finished painting, and then the clip after that, there's actually a difference in color. That's because after I did the first skin coat and I let him dry, I felt like he was too white for an Atlantean, or I think in the movies he was Mesoamerican, I believe. So I felt like he was just a little bit too pale of a complexion for that. So what I ended up doing was I took a 1-to-1 ratio of Guilliman Flesh with some Speed Paint Medium and thinned it down and gave him like a second coat. I definitely knew if I just straight up did another second coat of Guilliman Flesh, he would be way too dark, and that's what I didn't want. So that's what we did. So for his trident, we're going in with the world's most perfect gold ever by 2 thin coats. It is called Glistening Gold. Honestly, 1 thin coat would actually work just fine. So we're just going in on the trident, his little wristlets, and then the belt part around his little Speedo there. The little wings on his feet are contrast apothecary white. Namor's Speedo, oddly enough, my favorite part to paint. The detail in it actually was pretty amazing. It's a 4-to-1 split for Warp Lightning and Bad Moon Yellow. Namor's hair, and actually also ends up being his eyebrows as well, is contrast Black Legion. And just a little close-up of his eyebrows and his skin-colored eye sockets. I dare not attempt that. Our last step is giving all of this gold some dimension with Agrac's Earthshade. So we hit the trident, the little arm, wrist cuffs, and his belt as well. There is a cute little like shell on the front of the belt, so you definitely don't want to just like slap some gold on it and call it a day. You want to apply a shade to make sure there's some dimension there and make that really pop. Alright guys, that is a finished Namor the Submariner. That's how I'm choosing to say that. Again, thanks AMG for sending this amazing model so early to get it painted up for you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the water and the little Speedo there. I think he took like 4 hours max, including dry time and pet interruptions. And I really appreciate all the tiny little detail. Such a fun model to paint. And remember, here at Married Couple Protocol, we love you.